You've had someone look at you like you were the only thing in the room, not because you earned it, not because you were impressive, just because you walked through the door. And if you've ever lost the thing that looked at you that way, you already know what this video is about. Today, we're opening the file on the bond between humans and dogs, not the sentimental version, the version backed by neuroscience, evolutionary biology, and a 15,000-year experiment that rewired both species. Most people describe the dog-human relationship with words like loyalty, companionship, unconditional love. Those words are fine. They're also incomplete because what's actually happening between you and your dog is not a metaphor. It's a neurochemical event. The same hormone that bonds a mother to her newborn infant is firing in your brain every time your dog looks at you, and it's firing in theirs. That's not poetry. That's a peer-reviewed finding published in the journal Science, and it raises a question that most people are afraid to say out loud, but the comment sections are full of it. Why does losing a dog sometimes hurt more than losing a person? That's not a flaw in your character. It might be the most honest thing your brain has ever told you. Here's the file. The standard explanation for why we love dogs is domestication. Somewhere around 15,000 years ago, wolves started hanging around human camps. The ones that tolerated people got fed. The ones that got fed survived. Over thousands of generations, those wolves became dogs. That part is true, but it only explains why dogs exist. It doesn't explain what dogs became. Because here's what most people get wrong about domestication. They assume dogs adapted to live near humans. They didn't. Dogs adapted to live with humans, inside the social structure, reading the signals, responding to the emotions, not as pack members, that's another myth, but as something else entirely, something that has no real equivalent in the animal kingdom. A dog does not see you as a large, strange dog. That's cats. A dog sees you as something unique, not an equal, not a leader, something closer to a lifeline, and they evolved specifically to tell you that. In 2009, a cognitive scientist named Brian Hare ran an experiment at Duke University that quietly changed how we understand dogs. He put food under one of two cups. Then a human pointed at the correct cup. Dogs followed the point. They walked straight to the right cup almost every time. That sounds simple. It's not. Chimpanzees, our closest genetic relatives, animals with complex social structures and tool use, cannot do this reliably. Wolves raised by humans from birth cannot do this. Dogs can. Not because they were trained, because they evolved to read human intention. 15,000 years of selection pressure didn't just make dogs friendly, it made them fluent in a language no other species on Earth can speak. Your gestures, your micro-expressions, the direction of your gaze, your dog is reading all of it, and they started reading it before you said a word. Here's a detail that researchers at the University of Lincoln confirmed. When a dog looks at a human face, it shows a left gaze bias. They look at the right side of your face first. That's the same thing humans do when reading facial expressions, because the right side of the face is more emotionally expressive. Dogs do this only with human faces, not with other dogs, not with objects, only with you. They evolved a facial reading system specifically calibrated to one species, yours. There's a study out of Emory University that should change how you think about leaving the house. Researchers trained dogs to lie still in an fMRI machine, no sedation, no restraint. Then they presented the dogs with 5 different scents: a familiar human, a stranger, a familiar dog, an unfamiliar dog, and the dog's own scent. Only one scent lit up the caudate nucleus, the brain's reward center, the part associated with positive expectation and pleasure. Not food, not other dogs, the owner. A separate study measured dogs' heart rates in the minutes after their owner left the room. Heart rate spiked, cortisol rose. The dogs showed physiological stress responses comparable to separation anxiety in human children. Then the researchers played audio recordings. A stranger's voice did nothing. Another familiar person's voice helped a little. Only the owner's voice brought the heart rate back down. Your dog is not just waiting for you to come home. Your dog's body is in a state of low-grade emergency until you do. And the only thing that resolves it, not food, not comfort, not another human, is the specific sound of you. And this is where it connects to something bigger. In 2015, a team of researchers in Japan made a discovery that landed on the cover of Science. They measured oxytocin levels in dogs and their owners before and after a period of mutual eye contact, just looking at each other. Both went up significantly. Oxytocin, the same hormone that floods a mother's brain when she holds her newborn for the first time, the chemical foundation of the deepest bond mammals are capable of forming. Dogs hijacked it, or rather, both species co-evolved into it. Over 15,000 years, dogs and humans developed a mutual gaze loop that triggers the same bonding chemistry as the parent-infant attachment system. No other domesticated animal does this. Not horses, not cats, not any primate, only dogs. dogs. The bond between a dog and their human isn't loyalty, it's neuroscience, and it is running on the oldest, deepest bonding hardware your brain has. So now answer the question from the beginning. Why does losing a dog sometimes hurt more than losing a person? It's not because you loved the dog more. It's not because something is wrong with you. It's because human relationships carry noise, negotiation, resentment, judgment, conditions. Every human bond you have is filtered through language, expectation, and history. The bond with your dog had none of that. No conditions, no spoken language to misinterpret, no argument that never got resolved. Just the gaze, just the oxytocin, just the cleanest expression of attachment your brain is capable of experiencing. And when that bond breaks, when the dog dies, your brain doesn't process it as losing a pet. Your brain processes it as losing the purest source of bonding chemistry it has ever had. There's no framework for that grief. Society doesn't give you bereavement leave for a dog. Your friends may not understand why you can't stop crying over an animal, but your neurology knows exactly what it lost. And if you've ever felt guilty that a dog's death hit you harder than you expected, harder maybe than losses that were supposed to hurt more, that's not sentiment. That's your brain telling you the truth about what that relationship actually was. 15,000 years ago, a wolf walked toward a fire instead of away from it, and something started that neither species could have predicted. Your dog didn't choose to love you. Evolution built them to, and evolution built you to need exactly what they provide. So the question worth sitting with is this: if the deepest bond your brain can form doesn't require language, doesn't require shared history, doesn't even require the same species, what does that tell you about what love actually is? The full dossier on this and 9 other case files, including what your brain deletes in infancy and why, is linked below. It's free. Next week, we're opening the file on why your brain can't stop returning to the darkest chapters of human history and what that compulsion reveals about who you are.